North American Arms Guardian 32 ACP. Safety check for the safety sallies. This is about as good as it's going to get because I have to hold this open while I'm showing this because there is no slide lock on this. So, be that as it is, I'll just jump right into the negatives right off the bat. No slide lock, no slide hold open. Just not on there. They claim that it's because they had to keep it as simple and as basic as possible to make it this small. I don't buy that. The Kel-Tec P32, which is at least as thin as this and pretty close to the same overall dimensions and close to the weight. It's actually lighter. It's got a slide open. You know, it's on the last round. It doesn't have a manual one that I know of, but it's got one, so it's doable. And it also costs less, so you would think paying more you'd get that bit. Maybe I just asked too much out of gun makers, I don't know. But there you go. Another thing is there is no ejector. Weird, huh? Yeah, this is a blowback action and it depends entirely upon the spring in the magazine and the round underneath it to kick out your spent shells. So the big problem with that, by design, this is not just a bad manufacturing defect kind of thing. This is actually, by design, your last round will stovepipe. It'll just sit in there, and then, you know, if you want to do a reload under stress, you're screwed. So, I mean, yeah, you can take it out there. It's real easy. You just, shake it out, and then you slap in your other mag. But, realistically, you don't want to be clearing jams if you're under stress. So, if you're looking at this as a primary one and only gun, that's kind of a big negative for some folks. Me, I don't use it as that. I look at it for what it is as a backup. Also, capacity-wise, it's pretty good, but it's not great. It is 32 ACP, and you do get more rounds than you do with a lot of 380s most of the time. This one has one round less than average, actually. This has got a 6-round magazine with, +1 in the chamber. And they have a 10-round magazine available for it. Another negative about this, the sights are a freaking joke. And yes, this is a pocket pistol, this is not a target pistol. But if you're going to put sights on there, if you're even going to try to put sights on there, at least put something on that can be used. I mean, come on guys, look at this. These little nubs, this teeny tiny, it's hard to really show, but that's just worthless. Beyond 7 yards, it's hard to hit anything really. I mean, you can hit a man-sized target at 7 yards, but if you're going for headshots at that range, anything beyond that, you're gonna be hard pressed. Another thing is the trigger, very heavy, 10-pound trigger pull. That's right, 10. I know a lot of revolvers have that, and I'm used to shooting double-action revolvers, and so it's not really for me an issue. But if you're someone who doesn't have a lot of grip strength, either you have arthritis, you're elderly, or a lot of females, not to sound sexist, but it's just a fact, a lot of females really don't have really strong grip. My girlfriend being one of them, she could only get 1 round out of this. Tried to go for a second round, couldn't get the trigger back all the way. It is a very smooth, nice, comfortable trigger. It pulls very cleanly. It's just, as far as that goes, it's good, but it's just excessively heavy. Another negative on this thing is the takedown is simple, but kind of tricky. What you have is a little button there on the side underneath the slide serrations. And you're supposed to push this in, pull it back slightly, and lift up. Okay, that looks easy, right? Try doing that the first time though, when you don't have that instruction in the manual. It pretty much just tells you push the button and remove it. It don't work that way. Sorry to say. So, comes apart easy, and then here's your up close. That's all it is a fixed barrel blowback with a very short feed ramp. And the rounds almost have a straight shot into the barrel. So, very good design as far as that. It's kind of like the Walter PPK, the Bursa 380s. Really good as far as that. So I like that. But here's where it gets a little hairy. Trying to put this thing back together. When they tell you in the manual, oh yeah, you just pull down there and push on it and it'll go right on. It doesn't. The trick is you have to pull the trigger back a little bit to get the hammer, this little double action hammer there. You have to get that to move back out of the way of the slide enough to where you can get it to drop down. Once you get that trick, I mean, it's like taking it apart, it's easy then. You're just like, oh yeah, look, it comes apart, and then, you know, slide it back together. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, I just kind of made myself look like an ass there, but okay, there, see? It's back together, you know. And if you practice enough, yeah, sure, it's easy, but that's kind of a pain in the ass. Those negatives aside, I like this gun a lot. Really like it. Don't know if I would recommend it over a Kel-Tec P32 per se, or some other options like maybe the Beretta Tomcat, but for what it is, it's really, really well made. It is very tightly assembled, very good finish. It's very nice looking to me, and just eye of the beholder. And it has not had any malfunctions other than the aforementioned issue with the no extractor. Feeds and fires perfectly fine. As far as that goes, functionality wise, it's just great. Carrying this thing is a breeze. I'm used to carrying either full size like 1911, or you know, my preferred one now is a Kel-Tec P11, which is just, I'm in love with that gun. But for even compared to that, this is like nothing. I mean, this is literally, you will confuse this with a wallet if you're not used to pocket carrying this. This little wallet holster I made just from Hobby Lobby leather and rivets, but really small. And by small, I mean here, just another comparison with the old Illuma wallet. It's pretty freaking tiny. In fact, it almost weighs the same. I don't know the exact measurement right offhand. I want to say it's somewhere around 10 ounces. But this is freaking light. You will forget, literally, you will forget about this thing in your pocket if you don't watch it. Which can work against you if you go to a place that doesn't allow firearms. So be careful about that. But as far as if you want something you can just drop in your pocket and go down the road to Walmart, a grocery store, check the mail, or just around the house all day, awesome. Great for that. Comes with a really nice hard plastic case with nice foam lining. You got two magazines. You got one with the extension and one without. It also comes with this worthless little padlock thing, which I think is a freaking joke, but that's just me. And your spent shell casing and your lovely bathroom reading materials. The magazines they come with, it's nice that they give you the option right out of the box. Some people prefer the flat base flush fit magazine. Only thing I don't like about it is, to me, it does not feel natural because I can only get one finger on the grip. I've got two hanging off here and just the trigger, so I'm basically like a little, I don't know, 2.5 finger grip going on here. You got your thumb and your finger just basically making a circle, which doesn't seem like a lot of support, and then your trigger. Fortunately, the 32 ACP as a cartridge does not recoil much at all. It's honestly, it's like kind of a snappy 22 caliber pistol, really. And it doesn't hurt your hand at all. If anybody is recoil sensitive, this is very good for that. This is heavier than the Kel-Tec P32, so it's even less recoil than that, and that hardly has any recoil to speak of. So there's a plus there. However, with the extended base plate right there, I can get two on there, and I still have a pinky hanging off here, but this is a much more secure grip. Feels a lot better, and this is how I usually carry it with this mag. I usually just leave this mag at home. Again, because reloads are kind of a pain in the ass on this, and just because it doesn't add enough size-wise to the base to really make a difference. It's still covered easily in a pocket holster. It still looks like a reasonably sized wallet. Doesn't add to any thickness. So, you know, really nice little feature out of the box. Mags drop free. They kind of pop out, really. Not again, with the reloading, does not really matter as far as that, but it's It's nice, you don't have to pull them out and stuff when you're on the range. They also have a 10-round magazine available for it. It says full metal jacket only, but being this 32 ACP, kind of a moot point because hollow points in 32 really not that good of an idea for self-defense. You don't get enough penetration, hardly get any expansion at all, if any, and it costs more. So I just don't really see any point in it. This is my preferred one here. This is my carry and practice ammo. Federal American Eagle, 71 grain, full metal jackets. These cost me 25 bucks. You can also go with, there's Fiocchi, Cillier, and Bellet, or however you pronounce that. There's also Winchester White Box. Good old Walmart's carrying it. 22, 23 bucks I think last I saw. So I mean, there's that there. So the ammo is really reasonable, and you can afford to practice with your carry ammo. So that's a big plus. That's kind of more geared towards the actual cartridge itself and not the gun, but it is something to consider with the pistol. They do make also other versions of this gun. They're very, very close in design. A lot of the same traits as far as the trigger pull, the fit and finish. They're pretty consistent all across the board. There's a 380, there's a 32 NAA, there's a 25 ACP, there's a 25 NAA. The 380 and the 32 NAA are a larger frame version of this. This one and the 25 are this size, they're the smaller frame. All things considered, I really like this. It's a very, very nice backup piece. It's a very, very nice go-anywhere gun for those of you who just don't like to carry because it's too heavy or just gets in the way or you're worried about printing. This don't print. This weighs nothing. So, there you have it. For what it's worth, it's my 2 cents on that deal. Thanks for watching.